Hey guys, glad to see you. Hey, where are you? No, down here, over here. Hey, all right. Scarlett almost busted her butt. Hey guys, it's Jim Bounds at Co-op Motor Works and Motorhome Rehab Ranch on Patreon, and had a question that says, well, what am I doing nowadays? I got all these guys doing all this stuff. What am I doing? Well, JG here's my coach, and my goal is after 5 years to hit the fall tour. Everybody coming around. Well, first thing I got to do, JG here. By the way, anybody that lives in South Carolina, North Carolina, might have known Jim Greer. This is Jim's coach. So anyway, after 2 years of this thing sitting in my ready room here at the shop, finally got it fired up when the batteries melted. Yes, I have no brakes. So it's been a long time, so tore it apart, jacked it up, got it off the ground, and pulled it apart. Now, you know, on Facebook and all these places, all kinds of guys telling you how to put it together, all the things to do, make this spring go in first and all that, and that's all really good stuff. And man, pay attention to that, you know, because hell, it's been 15 years since I did it because I've always had other people to do it, you know. So you can take pictures, things like that, okay? Take it apart, get a tool, a brake tool. It's a L-shaped thing like this, got weird edges on it, you know, scoop edge. It's a special tool, read about it, and that's what you use to pull all the springs and all that kind of stuff, okay? But before you do that, you got to get it apart. You got to get it apart, you got to get it clean. All right? You can see here, you got it clean now. It's not squeaky clean, but it's clean. And I've got my new wheel cylinder already installed. All right? Now, to put the wheel cylinder in, of course, you've got the brake line and 2 bolts, okay? So the day before you're going to do this, get behind there and spray some penetrating oil, PU Glass or something like that. Just spray it on there, okay? Then when you take this line loose, get a line wrench. You say, what's a line wrench? It's a wrench that goes around like that. I wish I had one sitting here, but that's okay. We'll show you one. We'll show a picture. Anyway, it's a line wrench. It grabs the whole head of the line, okay? Of the fitting. So if you just grab 2 of them like a normal opening wrench, it will twist that fitting, okay? It'll absolutely do it. And there goes the phone. Hang on a second. You know, you guys, it's okay. This is what I do all day. Hang on, let me just tell them I'll call them right back. Don't go away. Hey, who's this? Jim? Listen, man, I'm doing a video. Can I call you right back? I'll call you back, man. Bye-bye. All day. It's cool. I'm doing more projects now than I've ever done. All you guys are out there and you're calling me and I'm getting in your loop and it's a whole lot of fun. I gotta tell you, it really is. So back to this. So I've cleaned it. I use brake cleaner, you know, brake spray. Took me 3 cans to do all 4 wheels. So you spray it and you put cardboard under it. Get all the stuff, because boy, Jason would get all mad if I met this thing dirty and stuff. So just spray it all off, get it all off. I leave the grease on the spindle because while I'm working, if I hit it or anything, I want it to stay really clean. So I'm going to clean it off just before I start to use it. I'm going to clean off the seal surface right in here. I'm going to clean all that off. I'm going to wait until I get ready to put it in to clean it off. Okay. So got this off. Put the wheel cylinder on. All right. Got all the parts off. I'm going to put new spring kits, new shoes. Now these were good shoes. You can see they're riveted. These are a 462 RR. The RR means it's riveted right here. Okay. So that's what you want to have. So, and there's plenty of meat on here. But you know, if I'm going through this much hell, the shoes are pretty cheap. And the spring kits probably are not original, but they got some age on them. So we're going to put all this stuff new. Hardware adjuster. This is the adjuster. That thing, some of these things get froze up, won't turn. In fact, that one's really tight. See, it's been sitting there so long. So we're gonna send that one to Stovocore and gonna get a new one. All right, so we got all that done. You say we're ready to put this together. No. Not ready for that yet. Look over here. Here are the drums. Okay? Now, if you're going to go through so much hell to do your brakes, you also want to do your bearings. Okay? Now, you get in there and like this is a new bearing. Here's one of the old bearings. Okay? So you get in there and you look at it. Normally, a good mechanic, well, you see there's no blue spots on these barrels. Okay? There's no blue spots, and they're not pitted. So you repack that and let it ride. But what we run into in these GMCs are extreme heat cycles and a lot of weight. Okay? Now, if you look right there at the edge, right here, very, very sharp. And if you look inside where that cylinder is, right there at the edge, you'll see that metal has been pulled up. Okay? So this bearing's had a lot of weight on it, and it's been real hot for a long time. And guess what? They're pretty cheap. Okay? Let me show you something else. Here, let me get this other glove off. Here, I'll tell you something about gloves. Back in the day when I was doing stuff, don't wear no sissy gloves. You get greasy. That's my uncle. That's how he did it. That's how he taught me to do it. And I've always resisted gloves. But I tell you this time, man, I'm doing this grease. It takes days to get that stuff out of you. So everybody uses gloves now, and I have to say it's a good thing, especially what I just finished doing there. But I know that I'll never be a mechanic because I hate gloves. I hate grease on my hands too. So let me show you. This is the race. This race is pressed into the hub, and that's what the bearing, rides on. Okay, that's the surface. See, it's a conical shape like that. Well, you see how this is real shiny? Okay. Now here's a regular one. It's not quite as shiny. See that? It's real shiny. You say, oh boy, that thing's been polished. Well, it has. It's been polished because it's been spinning. Spinning in the hub. So this is my coach. Bearings are good. You can see the bearings. They're good. Okay? But this race was spinning. Also, I told you to look at the edges of the bearing. Look at the edges of the race. You'll see where the middle has worn down. You also see where the middle has changed color a little bit. All right? That's not like soot from a stove or anything. That metal has changed its metallurgy. Okay? So when you see, like if it's blue, well, it's definitely, you want to get rid of it because it's turned soft. But changing colors like this means that it's seen a lot of heat, and there's wear. So you really want to get rid of that. Okay? This is why we end up changing. I tell you, every coach that comes in here gets new rear wheel bearings. Okay? They're not hard to put in. It's like trailer bearings. It's no big deal. You got an inner and an outer, okay, and a rear seal. No big deal. But if this goes out, you're done, baby. So they're not expensive. They're $11 for one, $13 for another, and I don't know, something like that. They're less than $25 or $30 per set. Now, different kinds of bearings. There's BCA, Bauer. There's, there's a couple of them. A bunch of Chinese stuff. Timken. Timken is the stuff you want to use. It's out of Canada. Now, the Timken front bearings, they're actually hand matched when you look at the bearing. Some dude sat there with a scribe and scribed the numbers on that bearing. It's amazing. So I'll buy his, you know what I mean? But we found, you know, there's wives' tales that run around the community saying, oh, you have to use Timken. And I do believe it. We had a problem one time. We did all the bearings, everything right. Man's heading home to Dallas. Bearings went out in Tallahassee. I sent 2 of the guys out there, and bearing failed. You know, bearing failed. The race failed that took out the bearing. That's what the company told me later. But anyway, we changed all 4 and then drove him to Dallas to be damn sure there's no problem. And from that day on, I used Timken bearings. All right, I don't know for sure if that's the reason or not, but why not? Nice orange box too. So anyway, this is the reason that you don't repack bearings unless you know that you packed them less than 10,000 miles ago or something. But you got to understand, good SOP on a wheel bearing. Tech takes it out. He goes, hey, she's not blue. There's no pits. Looks good. Pack it and ship it. That could have been, that's good SOP. Good mechanics would do this. And you could have good mechanics work on your coach for 45 years. And you could have 45-year-old wheel bearings. Now, do you know the age of your wheel bearings? If your answer is no right now, start making some plans, brother. You need to know, as Dirty Harry movie. I got to know. You got to know the age of your bearings, because these bearings are mine. These are my bearings. I had 1 race spun. Every bearing's flattened off. I got the last full measure out of this baby. So, anyway, you pull the races out. This is something you can do yourself. I used this chisel. Okay, is this chisel. My granddaddy's mallet hammer that he built Liberty ships with in Virginia. Use that baby. You can pop those races right out. You don't need to have a machinist do it. It's okay. I'm not trying to take money away from them, but this is something you can do. All right. So after you get the races out and you get the new ones put in, now how do you put the new ones in? You take the old one and let me take your hand. So this is a new race, okay? So you put the race on there, you take the old race, put it on top of it, and hammer it down. And it pushes the new race down. You see what I'm saying? It's exact, right? So this is the bearing. Right? Now I've already packed this, and here I am, got my hands, you know, I'm going to get greasy anyway, right? I'm going to show you guys. But I packed this by hand. Now, all the gurus are going to say, oh, you know, you should use a packer, they do 55% better. Yeah, I know they do. But, you know, my granddad showed me how to pack wheel bearings, and he sat down and showed me how to do it, and it was really, really important to him to show me how to pack wheel bearings. And I never forgot. So, pack that wheel bearing, ready to go. See, my hands are already greasy. Dadgummit. Then we're going to take the race. The seal. Here's your seal. It's going to go right on there. I'm going to take an old seal and hammer the old seal. You don't want to hammer on this. Hammer on the old seal and it'll push it down. Now, you've heard where people are saying there's a special seal you got to use. Well, the one they're talking about, you see this little lip right here? See the little turned up lip? Okay. The seal they say is a special one doesn't have that turned up lip. Okay. Consequently, this edge is a little bit shorter. In other words, this is a little proud and it's bit in. Okay. Now, the problem with that is, when I say problem, when parts get to the point that there's not enough sales of them, they'll group a bunch of parts, or they'll change a part to be able to use for 2 applications. Now, originally, the original seal did not have that little lip on it, okay? And they're available. But you know, if the engines are circling, you need a seal. 8974S is the part number. I want to get rid of that in my head, but use this seal, put it on there, and you pound it down until it does not touch. Repeat, does not touch the bearing. Right? You don't want it to touch. So don't take that thing and hammer it home, because hammer it home puts it on top of the bearing. All right? So you nail it down until it gets real close to the bearing and stop. You're done. Okay? So that's that side. Then we flip it over. Race is going to be in there. And then this is the front bearing, 15103S. Ow! I don't want to know that. The race is 15243. Yeah. Anyway, so here's the new bearing. Nice Timken bearing. And what I'm going to do to put grease in it, like I said, I'm going to get my hands greasy anyway. See, what I do to pack them, the way my granddad told me, you pack it, you put all the grease around it, you just to pack it in there, you push it in, more grease, you just push it in, keep pushing, keep pushing. Get on this side, push it in that little crack. Just keep pushing. Okay? And then you do the part that I hate the most. You push it in there. Yeah. That's a rite of passage right there, man. Push that grease in those balls. Okay? A little more grease. Get it where it's just as much grease as you can get in there, in those little cracks. Now here's something else he told me. He said, son, nobody knows about this. So that means you guys can't talk about it. You take it, this is where it goes, you put it in the hole, and you push it down. You pull it up, you use the race surface to press the grease down in there. See, put the grease down in there like that, and then turn it. Granddad said, nobody does that no more. Well, okay. Don't do it. The idea is, now, it's true, bearing packers are very cool. You put the thing in the packer, you pump it with grease with a beer in your hand, and you're done. All right? It's true. But I pack mine by hand, and the guys, I think there's a bearing packer back there somewhere. All right? All right, so you're going to have $200, $250 in bearings and seals. If you do not know the age of your bearings or your seals, that also probably means that you don't know the age of your shoes. So, no big deal. Take it apart. Now, I'm not as fast as I used to be, and I used some brand new cuss words. I even had to have Jason come over on one bolt because the son of a bitch wouldn't go in. But take your time with it. And this is things you can do and you should do. Right? You should change your bearings in your races and your races. There's some people talking about, well, you know, that race, that's hardened steel. That son of a bitch never go bad. Don't worry about that. Just put in a new bearing and be fine. Are you kidding me? If I'd have done that with this one, the shiny one, that sucker would have spun just as much as it did on the old one. And it's got wear. Every one of my races shows wear. Why would you put a new bearing in something that's worn? Okay? Matter of fact, the inner bearing comes with its own matched race from Timken. Are you going to throw the race away? Put races in. Ain't no big deal. Get a chisel and whack on it. No problem. This is not something special when something fails. I didn't have any problem with this stuff. Why did I take it? Well, my brakes took a dump. We're sitting for 2 years. But I had no idea there was any issues with this, and there wasn't. The bearings were not bad. But you saw the situation, and sooner or later something would have been a problem, so why not fix it all right now? We're in here, I'm getting brakes out of the thing, all new parts there, might as well put in bearings too, right? When we get shipping again, pretty soon, we have a bearing package, ship you all the parts that I give my tech to go do this job. And until then, if you want to do this, give me a call, Ranch Hands, give me a call. I'll give you all the parts, tell you all the things, all the tips and all that kind of stuff. That's what we want to try to do, is help you do this at home. Okay? We got more to do here. In fact, you can't do anymore. I want you to do this at home, and you can do it at home. Right? That's what this is all about. That's why you're trying to support me. Well, I hope. It's not because I'm good looking or anything. Where'd that come from? Well, look, guys, we've got other things coming out, and as soon as I get my hands ungreased, some more videos coming out on, did the air conditioning video get up? That one got up? Okay, that one just got up then. We've got some more coming out next week, and who knows, we might even get that damn Onan going. Never know. We've got a frame video on the way. There's some progress on that frame project. So a lot of exciting stuff, right? And if you think this is worth watching and us doing, support us, become a ranch hand. How to do it, I know in the beginning a lot of videos I say, I'll tell you later how to do it, and every time I hear that I say, you know, I never said anything. Just go back to the top of the page, and they'll be happy for you to become a ranch hand for $5 a month. As soon as I can find somebody to create a file, I want to do a patch. All the ranch hands get a patch. Can't afford t-shirts. They just got too expensive. I don't know. But we're going to have a patch here real soon. We broke 300. There's 312 of you ranch hands out there. Woohoo! 326. Thanks, guys. I mean, really. It's going to make this go. This is fun. I bet somebody's sitting here the whole time and looking at that and saying, that son of a gun's got an original airbag in there. That's his motorhome. What the hey? Okay, let me explain this. That original airbag, this is a great way to explain it to you. Let me get some of this grease off my hands. You see this cone on the back? See that? When this airbag collapses, it rolls around that cone. Now, if you look at a lot of these, all these aftermarket, not a lot, every one of the aftermarket bags do not fold in on itself like that. One of them, a bag on a tractor, does fold in on one side, but not on the other side. Our airbag is the only one ever made like this. Why? Because when these wheels turn, and they'll twist, these arms twist. This airbag doesn't just move like this. It moves like this. That's why these bags are here, to let the rubber roll on these cones. Only vehicle ever made for this airbag, for this type of suspension system. Okay? So all airbags that are adapted to put in here are pinched on the outside edge. So when it rolls, it pulls pressure right there or right here. Can't help but do it. Now, we've had no problems. We also didn't have any problem with spacers until I lost my wheel. But technically, this airbag should be used because of this cone. Now, I'm using the original airbag, but you know I'm Mr. Quad Bag, right? Well, the thing is, when you have a vertical member right here and you have an airbag here, it doesn't have enough lateral movement to put any pressure on it, because it's standing right up here and it's a little short airbag right there, and it moves half of the lateral movement that the whole thing does. So you don't have a problem with the quad bag. Plus, you can lose a wheel and still drive with a quad bag. But if I did not have a quad bag, I would use an original airbag. Now, these are still available. Center Bar has them. Well, it's not the original ones. They had them reproduced. And I understand the first batch had some problems, but I understand that this batch is okay. Okay? So, and I know quad bag is expensive, so you're not, if you can't get the scratch up for it, you know, original airbag is the way I'd go there. So anyway, you don't have to yell at me for having an original airbag. All right, so I hope you learned a little bit about bearings and races and seals and why you should do this. And if you don't know the age of yours, you do it. All right, ranch hands, get back out to work. See ya.